Yo,
Hey, how's it going?
can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, we had some technical difficulties with that first stream. It's just been a hectic week already, huh?
Yep. Internet's going out
But
everywhere.
we're here. This is the first episode of Liberator, whatever you want to call it. Um, Eric, what is Liberator?
Uh, Discussion between two people with opposite political views, but can't get along together and try to get something out of it and learn from both sides and have a peaceful discussion.
I like how you say peaceful. Um, Yeah, so basically, I mean, we picked the word liberator because it's kind of freeing people, right? Waking
Yeah.
them up, maybe from what they were following or what they've been listening to in the
Mm.
past.
Or have their
Um,
thoughts challenged as well.
oh yeah, for sure. And I think that's like one of the best things to do is, kind of question everything, right? Don't
Yes.
just be cool with whatever.
Also,
Um,
argue your own points as well.
Yep, that's true. And it's me and Eric, I think I would say we want to get to the same destination, but we have different ways of getting there. Um, you know what I mean? And I really want to go into a little bit more about not only the show, but what MCE Media Crossover Entertainment plans on doing with our followers. We got some people watching right now, which is awesome. Uh, how to become a MCE patron. Before we get into anything, let's talk a little bit about that. So here is this. I'll just have to. I'm going to try something here.
I think you should full screen it for everyone to be able to see while we
Yes,
talk in the back.
uh, there we go. Awesome. Can you hear me?
Of course.
Cool. Alrighty. So, how to become a patron is, as simple as just donating. Whether that means donating $1, you'll get a free shout out from us. Like you'll get shout outs throughout every show we do, us saying thank you. So it's not only are we asking for donations, but we're going to be a little creative with it, right? So donate anything, we'll give you a shout out. Donate $10, receive a shout out, as well as the reserved opportunity to call into the show. Donate $20, receive all of the above plus an MCE sticker. $50, receive all of the above plus automatic eligibility to all of our giveaways. $80, receive all of the above and a snapback hat. $100, receive all of the above and an MCE shirt or hoodie. $100+ receive all of the above plus a thank you later signed by the MCE team. And again, the bonus is donate on a regular basis during our shows, and we'll always give a shout out and thank you for supporting our team. And all you have to do is follow or find us on Venmo at MCE Patron. If it asks you for a 4-digit validation, that is 0022. Again, in real time, we will always shout you out and thank you for everything you've done. So, anything you'd like to add on that, Eric?
Smaller donations would be greatly appreciated. Doesn't have to be any of those numbers on the list.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and like we said, any donation, it could just be $1, and we'll appreciate that for sure. Anything you want to talk about giveaway wise, Eric?
Yeah, we'll be doing some giveaways that will be included later on, depending on what's going on. It could be concerts, uh, different type of giveaways, prizes, AirPods, iPhones, any type of latest or greatest thing that could be coming up in locally or tech wise.
And let's go ahead and talk about the donations, or not the donations, but the giveaways. So here is the first one, if it loads.
Okay,
That was just our little
$100 Visa gift
transition we
card.
like to do. Yep, a $100 Visa gift card. And like I said, we'll be doing all sorts of crazy stuff, whether it's tickets to a concert, jazz game, you know, gift card to Best Buy, GameStop. We'll be doing these at least once a month. And it's easy to win. All you have to do is like/follow our page, watch any of our shows, and listen for the word baller, discluding this show. We're going to start this up next week. So, how many times we say that magic word, if you guess it right, you'll be eligible to win the $100 gift card. It's just message us with how many times you say it. And you could also say it in the comments, but if you keep your answer a secret, you better your chances as getting that chance to win the giveaway. The other option, if you don't want to do all that jiff, is learn how to become an MCE patron and automatically qualify for every giveaway. So that will be awesome to do. Let's go ahead and talk about what we'll be talking about today. Again, Liberator is more geared towards, let's take this off, bring us back on. So the Liberator is geared more towards politics. So you might be into politics, you might not, but this show, if it's not for you, we have other shows. This is, like I said, this is one of the ways you can be, one of the ways you could win those giveaways, which, like I said, it's easy money. All you got to do is participate. But anyways, the first thing we want to talk about going into this is a little bit about what's going around here in Utah. And we have, let's see, I will pull up the other one and we can talk. Here we go. Can't see that, so we can take us off screen for a little bit. So if we want to go a little bit into, Utah Senate votes on a bill that would keep people from switching political parties. Utah State,
Senate votes on bill that would keep people from switching political parties. The bill, which passed with a 19-6 vote, would prevent affiliation changes after March 31st in an election year. All because many Utahns switched to the Republican Party ahead of last June's primary election to cast their vote for John Huntsman Jr. And should party affiliation matter? That's the question here. And why would they do this? Isn't that the whole point, is to switch your opinion if you're not liking the movement of the other side?
Yeah, and see, that's what I don't understand is why would it matter if people switch their party to vote for somebody that for once Democrats and Republicans agree on? That's what I'm not understanding. They're basically trying to, I mean, why make it harder to vote than it already is, right? I mean,
it makes it almost makes you want to just stay independent, so this you don't get trapped into this little bubble that they're trying to get you into.
See, and that's the messed up part, is you can stay independent, and it seems like, at the end of the day, it's like you can't vote in any of those, caucuses or anything, prior to the big day of electing a president. So I don't understand why they would do this. I'm not sure if it's just simply because, I don't know. To me, it's like, we have it all wrong. People are more loyal to the party than they are to their own morals. And to me, it's like, why be loyal to a party that isn't loyal back to you?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, especially since they're not really campaigning for your vote until the year of, pretty much.
Exactly. And all of this simply because of John Huntsman Jr., people on both spectrums wanted to vote for him. Makes absolutely no sense to me.
A lot of election rigging going on, seems like.
Yeah, and we can go into that. We can go into that was more of the Utah side of things. We can go into either the Time Mag, or we can talk about what happened this weekend with Trump making his very first appearance since leaving the White House, as well as we have other things to talk about as long as we have the time to talk about. Eric, let's see, we can go into a little bit of what happened with the CPAC. Let's
Oh,
see
CPAC was
here.
interesting. It was 3 days, I believe, from speeches from Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, Senator Ted Cruz, Donald Trump Jr., and Donald Trump, as well as others. Uh, it was interesting, a mixed bag of positive and negative, some optimism and some, like, you could tell that they're all just trying to get the next spot for the next election. But a great speech from Kristi Noem, which was the only governor that, and only state that actually stayed open the whole time, never shut down. Donald Trump calling out all the rhinos. Pretty much, if you were there, you were affiliating with Donald Trump. If you weren't there, you were practically the enemy of his movement, pretty much. And he's still not backing down that he uh, didn't lose the election, which got a lot of people uh, pretty mad.
So let's go ahead and play this video, small clip of what Donald Trump said. I mean, he had some highlights, but here's one of them right now. All right.
We will do what we've done right from the beginning, which is to win.
Are you able to
We're
hear
not
this?
starting new
Yeah, it
parties.
sounds like it's whispering, but I could hear it.
You know, they kept
Okay, that
saying,
works.
he's going to start a brand new party. We have the Republican Party. It's going to unite and be stronger than ever before. I am not starting a new party. That was
Kind of
fake
hard to
news.
hear on my hand.
Fake news. No.
You could hear a little bit.
Wouldn't that be
He's
brilliant?
pretty
Let's
much
start a
talking
new
about
party.
how
Let's divide our
the
vote.
rumors about him
So
starting
that he can
the
never win. No, we're
Patriot
not
Party were
interested
kind
in
of fake
that. No,
news.
we have
He wants to keep the
tremendous,
Republican Party as strong as he
Mr.
can
McLaughlin just gave
and
me
try to
numbers
unite
that
the
nobody's ever
movement
heard
still.
of before. More popular than anybody. That's all of
Uh,
us. That's all of
but
us.
prior to
Those
this,
are
he said
great numbers, and I want to
it
thank
seemed like he was
everybody.
very into, running a third party possibly. And now he's saying he doesn't want to split the vote. I don't know. That to me, that doesn't really sound like that's what he was
Yeah,
intending. I don't know how he was going into that.
yeah, I don't know. I never really heard it come out of his mouth, really, other than that he has his movement, but never really heard him talk about the Patriot Party. It always seemed like it came from the news, and tried figuring out where it came from, but it never really saw where. And well, he just confirmed that it's not true, though.
Yeah. So it looks like, I mean, he doesn't give you skeptics if he's running again or what he's doing. He kind of makes it more wishy washy and kind of
Well,
on
he
what we
was
want
playing
to
around.
think.
He was playing around with saying that he can beat them a third time, implementing that he won the second time. So that's that one little hint that makes you think that he could be running, but who knows? It could be him. It could be his son, the governor of South Dakota. Ted Cruz looks like he wants to run. Uh, we won't know until it gets closer into the election, I guess.
Okay, talking a little bit more what he highlighted on. Again, I mean, the only thing I can give credit to the guy is at least he calls people out, but I'm not a big fan of Trump. But one of the things that he did bring up, and I don't know, you can skew it any way you want. I know with COVID, everything has happened differently, but he mentions the 74 million votes he got. So in the past, I mean, he won with what, 62 or something like that last election
2016?
and won. And then
Yes.
prior to that, I think Obama was maybe 60 and he won. And then prior to that, Bush, I think only had 50, high 50 million to win. This election, the loser with 74 million lost. I mean, I feel like that's kind of in question. I'm not there to, prop the guy at all, but to me, he brings up somewhat of a, okay, that's kind of weird that the loser got 74 million votes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the odd thing about it is that someone that campaigned through his basement got 80 plus million votes, and just makes you think, how did he get those? Also, there was weird stuff going on throughout big cities. How they started counting votes after they told everyone to leave. Also, uh, covering up windows when they were counting votes during the day. And just even on the graph, it would show the odd figures of just straight spikes of votes going way up for Biden and then kind of slowly transitioning. Not only that, this is like the longest in modern history, at least, for them to declare a winner, which is also kind of weird. You don't that never took this long. I mean, there was a lot of votes, but it is a little odd.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to take out of it. It just seemed like it was more of a Trump party over there for CPAC than anything. Again, it was the first time he's made really an appearance since leaving the White House.
Yeah, they
And
gave him a gold statue and everything, which is kind of funny.
mhm. Let's go more. Let's go into Time Magazine. All right, Time Magazine brought up a pretty crazy article that I thought was pretty insane, to be honest with you. Let
Yeah,
me.
sounds like they're kind of spitting in the Trump voters' base straight to their face because they denied it the whole time that there was a fair election, and then now they're saying that there was a cabal behind the whole election, saying that they needed to get together to. They use the word they don't use to rig the election, but to fortify the election for Biden.
See, and that's what I think is pretty weird is the fact that, hold on, I'm going to pull up some stuff right now. I just had to find it.
Yeah, especially because they kept saying it was a fair election, that there was no uh, rigging of it and no funny business. And now they're practically bragging about how there was business going on in the back, how everyone teamed up against the Trump base to beat them and confirm that Joe Biden becomes the president of the United States.
And look, at the end of the day, and like I said, maybe this election was a little different because of the fact of the whole coronavirus and who knows. But
Which is another
at least
story
in my
within
perspective,
itself.
at least in my perspective of what I've seen is at the end of the day, your vote is your vote, right?
Yes.
What you put down on paper is what is solely yours. Now, the influence you get prior to that, you know what I mean? The influence you get prior to that is totally, you can be persuaded any way you want. So even though at the end of the day, it comes down to what you want to vote for, how are you persuaded? Whether it's the news, whether it's, I don't know. At the
Pop
end of the
culture,
day, I mean, social media
yeah, anything
and
is really a big popularity contest if you really look at it.
exactly. I mean, and persuasion, when you have, hundreds of donors that back up your campaign, are you for the people or are you for the donors that are giving you the money? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
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 that's
so
the
to
sad part
go
about it.
to go a little bit into the secret history of the shadow campaign and tell me if you think this is right. Again, at the end of the day, you get to vote for whatever you want. But is it right to do? Here's some clips or just little snips of this article. A weird thing happened right after November 3rd elections. They say nothing.
Which is a big lie.
And then it says in November 2019, Mark Zuckerberg invited 9 civil rights leaders to dinner at his home, where they warned him about the danger of the elections related flash floods that were already spreading unchecked. It took pushing, unquote, it took pushing, urging, conversations, brainstorming, all of that to get to a place where we ended up with more rigorous rules and enforcement, end quote.
And who do those rules benefit?
And that's the thing is people went out of their way. And look, you can look at this any way you want. I mean, we can tie this into look, okay, we got some comments coming in. Paul Hilsey, yeah, boy. All right, thank you, Paul, for watching. Bernie supporter, Ali Valdez. There we go.
We'll see if he's still alive then. But yeah, it says it right there. It says corporate America turned on Trump. So is that too far off from what they've been saying all along? Like, he had been saying himself that the news was against him. All these corporate companies always attacking him. It's like, I get that he's not a very lovable person. He speaks his mind, but for the whole media, pop culture, be against him and call him negative words like a dictator when he really wasn't a dictator. And now we're pretty much glorifying everything that Biden administration is doing, which is not very far different, if not a little worse than what Trump had been doing in the past 4 years. He's reversing a lot of stuff, which is not benefiting the American people, more of just his corporate donors and stuff. So I don't get why they say that nothing happened in the. And who are they? Who was this for?
And that's what's crazy is the fact that a lot of people don't like Trump. A lot of people wanted Trump out of office regardless of who else took office, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is the fact that they didn't care who was in office as long as we got Trump out. They would do anything possible to get Trump out of office. Look, I'm not calling myself a Trump supporter. I don't like Trump. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to have a conscience to, are you willing to throw all of your morals out just to get somebody out of office? Are you willing to do that?
Yeah, especially if he's not better.
And that's the thing. And the fact, I mean, we could look at it. Are you willing to open a door that you may have not wanted open to begin with? Right? Are you opening up this door that you're possibly going to regret later on? For instance, let's look at Alex Jones. Holy cow, that guy is white conspiracy theorist. A lot of people hate his guts, but there's a lot of people that love him just because of what he sells, right?
He's also a person that gets attacked.
Well, and this is what I'm getting. This is the scenario, an example I'm getting at. Alex Jones, people didn't like him. So when they censored Alex Jones, everybody was okay with it. It was like, yeah, we didn't like that guy anyway. But what they didn't realize is they opened the door to other things. Look now.
Yeah. Now everyone's getting censored.
Now censorship and censorship to Trump is one thing. It's like, okay, I don't like the guy either. But what are we opening our doors to? Yeah, is this going to be all right? Are we going to regret this going down the road? And we go back to this. Let's go back to this real quick and continue reading. Their work touched every aspect of the election. They got states to change voting systems and laws and helped secure hundreds of millions in public and private funding. They fended off voter suppression lawsuits, recruited armies of poll workers, and got millions of people to vote by mail for the first time. They successfully pressured social media companies to take a harder line against disinformation and used data-driven, I can't read that with our little ticker going on. Hold on. Data-driven strategies to fight viral smears.
Makes it seem like it's not so far-fetched with the whole Dominion voting system going on, right? they said that that wasn't that those were very secure systems, and now they're pretty much talking about how they fixed those things, and then voting by mail, even dead people got to vote. That's successful, in my opinion.
And that's what I mean. Their work touched every aspect of the election. Just that part right there.
Yeah, but
They
social media
successfully
putting,
pressured social media companies to take harder
yeah,
line against disinformation and use data-driven strategies to fight viral smears. Their
oh yeah,
work touched every aspect. Every aspect. So right
that's
there.
all right there. Every single negative or questioning the election would always have a fact checked at the bottom of it. And where would they get their sources from? All it would just say is that it was a fair election, and saying that it was falsely right or wrong. And not only that, they censored Hunter Biden's laptop scandal. So it's like it was all made for Trump to lose and Biden to win, make him look like an angel towards everyone in social media and the media.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's your vote. You get to vote for whoever you want. People can't take that away from you. But when you see stuff like this, right?
Yeah, and then the media not covering it or covering it in a different way is not fair. You cannot just keep getting influenced.
Let's read this one. The conversations that followed was a difficult one. Led by the activists charged with the protest strategy, we wanted to be, unquote, we wanted to be mindful of when was the right time to call for moving masses of people into the street, unquote, people says. As much as they were eager to mount a show of strength, mobilizing immediately could backfire and put people at risk. Protests that developed into violent clashes would give Trump a pretext to send in federal agents or troops as he had over the summer. And rather than evaluate Trump's complaints by continuing to fight him, the alliance wanted to send the message that the people had spoken. And they continue with this whole thing, a
Yeah, we saw
strategy.
the
This is
riots.
written by Time Magazine. This is what's crazy.
Yeah, but they were peaceful protests, remember? Fiery, but mostly peaceful.
Also, we do have a few followers on here. Feel free to interact with us in the commenting section. I know a big chunk of our valley right now, at least in the West Valley, we're here located in Utah. The internet is down, so that could be, the reason why we were having problems to begin with, for one, but that could be a big reasoning why things are just seems not to be working out right now, for maybe people trying to watch. But anyways, this by the Time Magazine, the secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. They were not rigging the election, they were fortifying it. That's in
Wording is
quotes.
everything, huh?
They
Wording is
weren't rigging
everything.
it. That's what's crazy. A well-funded cabal of powerful people raging across industries and ideologies, working together behind the scenes to influence perceptions, change rules and laws, steer media coverage, and control the flow of information.
But when
Wow.
4chan did it, it was bad, right?
And we're calling this legal. That's insane.
Yeah, it's like they don't want us to uh, take down the cathedral.
I just find it, like I said, at the end of the day, it's your vote. You can do what you want with it. But look at the persuasion you get. Look at the people that have come together to make sure that Trump didn't become president. And again, like I said, I'm not a Trump supporter. but I know right from wrong. And
Not
to
only
me, I
that, it's
don't.
like you got to see the hypocrisy in the media. Whenever they had a protest, like I said earlier, it was this a peaceful protest, fiery but mostly peaceful. Whenever Trump supporters got together and rallied or uh, protested at their capitals or in their cities just to open back up, they would call it super spreader events because the COVID was still going on. COVID disappeared when BLM riots happened, but whenever it was anything for opening back up or for the MAGA rallies, it was always a super spreader event, always viewed negatively. The wording is everything. They always use negative words for Trump and positive words for their agenda.
Yeah, it's crazy just to see this stuff how it plays out. And like I said, that was by Time Magazine. I seriously can't believe that they even wrote that article and were cool with it. I don't know if it was because they wanted to tell the truth or if it was kind of laughing in the in the face of Americans and getting away with it like that.
Yeah, it's like they what's the word? They secretly tell you, or they tell you up front, but their wording is what throws people off, and that's what is unfair. Like if they would cover it all the same, I think more people would be happier about it. It wouldn't be such conflict. We wouldn't be so divided at this moment. But when you see the wording like that and the hypocrisy on the other side, it's infuriating, and why we're seeing this type of tense moments, and then half the country's unhappy.
It's crazy. But we'll probably end it right there. For like I said, we're still really new with everything going on. We kind of had technical difficulties at the beginning. I know there's a big portion of our valley that is without internet. When we did our pilot episode, what was that, like 2 weeks ago? We had some good interaction, and now that now that we don't, now that we're here with the internet down on some parts, it seems like we're kind of struggling to get a good place. More of our shows will start airing next week. So we'll continue to do the Liberator on Wednesdays, as well as we'll have a sports, more MMA podcast coming next week as well on Fridays. We'll also, we still want to talk about the MCE giveaways that we're doing or how to become an MCE patron. All of that stuff will start heavily next week with all of our shows. If you say the magic word, I guess next week we can hopefully get the ball rolling a little more, talk a little more in depth on things. We want to talk political compass. We did one ourselves. It's basically a chart, a map that tells you where would you be on it, as well as worst and best presidents and presidents that never became presidents. We want to talk all that stuff probably next week. Eric, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add before we go.
No, I believe you covered it all. Just a successful stream. We got it running. Just a quick hiccup at the beginning, but we did good.
We got it going. Hopefully we can get it going a little more. Again, it sucks that half of the valley is out without internet. Seems like we all rely on Wi-Fi pretty heavily over our own data plan.
Yeah. Data
But
plans
until then,
gold.
I guess this is the Liberator, and we'll see you guys next week. Again, we're going to get things rolling, hopefully smoother by then. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.